Welcome to Charter Oak Chess Club's YouTube channel, and now we're going over Game 3 in the 4-round tournament in the Marshall, my first tournament after starting the study guide. So here we go. I play pawn to c4, pawn to c5. I don't know why, but I've been getting a lot of symmetrical Englishes over the board. Maybe people are just becoming boring. But then again, I also play this as black now, so maybe I'm getting boring as well. It's just one tip in the symmetrical English is to just copycat. That's what I've learned. Like just copycat until you get like well into the middle game. Okay, my opponent does not do that, however, and they start making some differences. Knight f6. I don't really like knight f6, just because I think, you know, with this kind of structure, right, like this kind of Stonewall structure, your knight should really, you know, get used to being on e7 so you can throw f5 later on in the game. With that said, f6 isn't the worst thing in the world. d3, you know, keep the bishop doing his thing. Pawn to h3, really liking pawn to h3 lately. Been playing it a lot. Really happy with how it just cuts off the bishop and the knight. And we go b1, right, trying to throw that pawn later in the game. He goes no. I want to do the same thing. He wants to play pawn b5. We play a3. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. We put the bishop out here, which was dumb. I don't know why here, because just play bishop to e3. Maybe that's a little bit of the fatigue sitting in round 3. It's almost 10 p.m. So yeah, maybe just bishop e3 and then queen here. I don't know really why I played bishop e4. Maybe I was thinking about sacrificing it or playing knight. I really don't know what was going through my mind when I did this. But they play, you know, the pawn moved back, and they're like, "Are you going to take it?" And I go no, and now I go to bishop to e3. So wasting tempo, always a good thing to do. Pawn to b4, nothing to be worried about. We just got to calculate. Okay, what am I going to do here? Let's play knight to d5 because I always like to play knight to d5. Put the knight right into the center of the board. And if they take, we'll just take with c-pawn and get a fork. If they take this way, we still take with c-pawn. And they're going to kind of do the same thing. Again, symmetrical English, very similar ideas. And then my opponent plays pawn to a5. And then here we stop and we think. And we ask ourselves, what would you play if you were white? And so if you're white, you realize, wait a minute, I'm just winning. Because I'm just going to take your pawn. And they go, well, I'm going to take the pawn. And look, they got what they wanted. Their rook on the semi-open file. They're going to crush it. But there's tactics. And it all boils down to beginner stuff, right? Whenever we lose, it's always beginner stuff. No castle, so this is a big problem, right? Your rook wants to move away, but you can't let me take your knight. So then it's like, okay, well, I'll go here. But wait a minute. The knight takes the rook this way now, so not so good. And it's really just difficult to say, like, what am I going to do in this position? And it's not very clear. And then you go, wait a minute, I can play queen because my queen will guard the rook, which is quite smart. But unfortunately, I'm just going to take your rook. And then if you take, I'm going to get a fork. So that doesn't work either. And so this is pretty bad, but the computer's kind of chilling. They're like, it's not that bad. It's only like 0.6 or 0.9. It's going to go up to 0.9, about a point. We won the pawn fair and square. Because you go, what if the knight goes here? It still tries to defend the rook. And at this point, I got to be like, yeah, that is a pretty good move. From here, maybe I'll play knight to c3, continue the battle. We still won the pawn. There's still a pin. They still have the castle. Should be able to win this game just by winning that pawn and playing precisely. But in the game, my opponent played bishop out. Now here, you want to say, wait a minute, since I'm winning, let's make sure to trade off all the pieces first. So knight takes. They take back. Now we take. Now they go knight here. Trying to get an outpost maybe. Bishop is attacking the queen. So where does the queen go? Queen goes to c4. Also stopping check, because that would be really annoying. I don't want to be checked. Knight takes. King takes. It's a very close position. We got great control over d5, so it's not like we can just push d5. We're pretty happy here. Let's just not mess this up. Castle. Okay, free pawn, we'll take it. They can't trap us because we're going to take the rook, so the rook has to move. And now they can't trap us because I'm going to push my pawn, and if they try to trap this way, again, we can exchange even more pieces off the board, and then bring the queen in, and we'll have an open file. That'll be great. So queen comes over here. Pawn, why? We want to trade material. Let's keep trading. Take, take, take. Take. They go, aha, rook over here, check. And we go bishop to d2. And the bishop can't come over here because of the pawn. And in this position, my opponent resigned. It's pretty clear that white's going to win. They're up +7. Maybe we'll even take a pawn. Who knows? Yeah, so really just one mistake. One mistake here ruined the game. One little tactical mistake. Because, before this move, black was doing quite well, right? I made a little opening mistake, right? Let me go bishop to g5. Probably coming from a recent game where I was able to play bishop g5 against a knight, and then my knight jumps d5, and it worked out really well. But this is not the same position. So I think I was like, what if I go for this, and if my bishop gets trapped, maybe like knight here. I had some kind of game like that against Barry, so I was trying to play the same thing. It's not the same game, so I really should have just played bishop to e3. Also castle. There's no reason not to castle. There's nothing to be scared about here. So just bishop here, castle, maybe throw f5 because they're going to go play b5, and just play out a very solid game. But yeah, luckily we had this nice tactical shot, and we were able to win on tactics and tactics alone.
Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more chess content.